First thing every totalitarian regime does, along with confiscation and mutilation of reality, is confiscation of history and confiscation of culture. What can a book do, and why is it so dangerous that it needs to be physically annihilated?
Book burning program to eliminate foreign influence, to purify German culture as they saw it. Books were confiscated from libraries, from bookshops, and from private collections.
All literature is dangerous to a regime that fears the free flow of ideas.
And for tyrants, control is the main thing.
What's going on, Obasi Posse? Welcome back to my channel. Just really quick, I want to give a quick shout out to my social platforms that I'm on. Patreon, obviously, you guys know, is my biggest one. Those of you who actually have taken the steps, and I know sometimes you have to jump through hoops to get to my Patreon even, that's how difficult they're making it for me, is such a blessing, and you really don't know how grateful I am for that patronage, and it just means a lot to me because it keeps me going. As I just mentioned before, I have been getting hit at all angles. I did try to recreate a Facebook and they took me down immediately again, which is insane. So I am on MeWe. If you guys want to follow me over here. MeWe is just like this platform, except better. Less censorship, no ads, and totally free. So if you haven't heard of it, I am on there and I'm trying to go over there right now since I can't be on other ones. So thank you guys for hearing that quick announcement. And I want to get into something that a lot of people haven't been talking about. And that is the effect that this event in our life and here in 2020 has affected us through the libraries, through reading. And I want to talk about this because I've been meaning to talk about this topic, and there are so many different sectors to talk about, but I didn't know how to approach it. So I figured this was the best catalyst, and we'll start out with this video. I'm very passionate about old school ways of living, and everyone says, I'm an old soul. I call myself a busha. Busha is like a grandma in Europe, or babushka or babushka. Anyway, right here it says libraries are crucial to disaster recovery, but the CV is keeping them closed. And I thought to myself when I saw this article, I said, well, retail is open. Other things are open, even restaurants and bars, things like that. They're open, although limited capacity, they are open. Stuff like this. But libraries just seem to fall very short on the list. So, of course, I wanted to talk about the Haiti Trust, which this was a great catalyst, a great introduction to bringing this into the light for you guys to know what's kind of happening with our books, and it's important. So if you haven't heard of the Haiti Trust, it is a digital library of a large-scale collab of a bunch of digital content, including the content that was digitalized via Google Books. So they are in collaboration with Google Books Archive and the internet. Basically what they do is they take a book and digitalize it, put it in a database, and currently right now on Haiti Trust, which you can see on their website, is that you have to, in order to obtain this content, if you are a university student, a student in a college, you have to have specific IDs and permissions to even access books, to even get information and books you need to read. That they are unavailable. There's a lot of questions here. They can't even download PDFs and absolutely cannot redistribute books. And it says here on the website, no further reproduction or distribution is permitted by any means without the permission of the copyright holder. Okay. It also says that you won't have access, and the access you do have will be of temporary access if you have a university membership with Haiti Trust. So a lot of people aren't able to get books, because the libraries are closed. And a lot of libraries, if you go to your local library website, you can see that there is a whole digital section and a whole distancing section to obtain whatever book or knowledge or whatever you're trying to seek inside said library. And this is an alarming thing. This is something that we have to pay attention to because, again, this is like the beginning. And we know Google Books and digital books, ebooks, Kindles have been out there for a hot minute. You guys know I've never been a fan ever. I've never owned a Kindle, things like that. It's just not, I like hard copy books. You guys know I'm the sticky note queen. I highlight and write on absolutely everything that I touch. And I've been that way since I was a shorty. So the thing about Google Books is it also contains an error rate. It says right here that the overall error rate of Google Books, so when they take the physical copy of the book, scan it, therefore digitalizing that data, there is an over 36% error rate, which is extremely high because you're not getting the correct information. And who knows who's controlling which books are being digitalized and what information they're omitting from you as they digitalize them. And I want to talk about, you guys know I've started briefly introducing prepping into my channel, how to be prepared for certain things. And one of the things that I mentioned was very, very briefly was to get hard copy books on things that you would typically Google sometimes, information that you just don't have off the top of your head, because who knows when the internet will go down. You can't go back to your Kindle, you can't go to your ebooks, you can't go to your digital library on Google Books or Haiti Trust or whatever you associate with. You can go to hard copy books. You can't look it up on Pinterest, you can't look it up on Google. And this just goes to show, what and how information is being distributed, redistributed, and controlled. And it's something that we need to look at. So this brings to mind the type of information that they are transferring, right? So the type of content that Google is digitalizing or Haiti Trust is digitalizing reminds me of Google's search platform itself. So if we go to Google, for example, and type in Bill Gates, it says right here, best investment. So just notice that. When you type in Bill Gates, the V word, best investment, I didn't type best investment in, okay? That's what came up next to it, okay? These are good words, right? A different search engine such as DuckDuckGo and start to type in the same thing. Look at what happens next to oops. You see this word, which I cannot say. You can see kids, you can see this word. These all come up. The only thing that when you type in Google, excuse my previous search history, look at the different type of options. So when I type in this word, the V word, this is the only option I can get. So that's exactly what is happening with the digitalizing of our books, is especially because Haiti Trust is associated with Google Books, the information is manipulated to fit your mind on what they want you to think. We could see that here through search engine choices. I recommend the search engine. If you guys aren't using it or haven't heard of it, it is great. And it's very different. It's very different on what comes up when you start to type in things, as you can see here. And it's something I want you to pay attention to. There's been a whole list of book burning incidents, and we even see it in the Bible. You guys know I love to revert to the Bible in modern times, and that'll be for another video. You guys know I love referring back to the Bible when we're talking about different things on my channel and kind of include a little Bible study. That will be for another video because it's too long to talk about in this video. But you guys know in Acts, in the book of Acts and Ephesus and the burning of books, and the verse that comes with Acts, I believe it was Acts 19:11 through 20, and the Bible verse associated with book burning. So we've seen this throughout history, and we often think of Germany, but we can also think of this in the Bible. And I want to do a Bible study or a brief kind of history video on this video and why it is actually very important to know about today. So that'll be for another video continued. And I'm also going to do a few videos on a prepper's book list that you should have in your house, not necessarily to read for leisure, but to refer to as reference. Many people in their homes don't have books of reference to go to because they are so used to asking Alexa, asking Google, typing in the search engines because their internet is so accessible. A lot of people actually don't retain as much information as they once did because of the fact that information is so easily accessible. And we want to remember that I often say on this channel that being so comfortable and things being more easy and convenient, I always say convenience is the enemy. You don't necessarily want things at a convenience, and it weakens you as a human. It weakens your brain function and it weakens your skill set. We also know that this has always been a political agenda, but a lot of people will also say it's been a religious agenda as well, which is very true. We just need to know what is the good side of it and what is the bad side of it, how to differentiate and protect yourself. So this was basically an introductory video on how information can be manipulated and controlled, and how it's happening even more so now with the umbrella term and the scapegoat term of CV19. So if you like this content, be sure to subscribe and support me on those other two platforms I mentioned earlier. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.